One.
Ah, espérate. Por acá.
Okay,
Efectos de
we
video.
started already. All right, partner.
Okay.
Let's begin.
Let's begin, my friend.
Hmm.
Fine. Hello, Axel. How are you?
I'm very fine.
Yeah. Are you ready to start with the podcast?
A little bit. I'm nervous, as you can see.
I really see. Uh, I'm glad. Sorry.
No
I'm
problem,
glad
no
to
problem.
know that you are ready and prepared for this situation. We both know it's something new for both of us. Will you like to start by brainstorming a name for the podcast?
Mm, I'm thinking about something.
Fine. You mentioned English Discovery Night, but it sounds quite basic. Do you think?
Well, English Discovery 9 sounds too normal, and it could work, but if you want to establish a name some more urban style, like yours, uh, a good name could be, what about Podcast Peron, which involves English and Spanish. It doesn't sound so formal, but neither so low quality.
Yes, it sounds really good. Fine. Now, let's begin with the podcast. I remind you that we have to make approximately 15 minutes. Time will be fly, but we still need to keep that in mind so we don't forget, right?
I agree, partner. We have to keep it to last at least 15 minutes. As a teacher or manager, if you want to say it that way, establish it.
Fine. Okay. I think it will be unprepared to introduce ourselves first. Something simple so that they have an idea of who we are and why we are doing this to all our audience who will be joining us week after week in this new project. I'm just kidding. It will be a one-time occasion, or maybe not.
I'm pretty sure that it will be a one more time project, mostly because we have a lot of things to do because of our careers. At the time we made this, it's very important to focus on whatever we have in mind.
Yes, you are you are incorrect. Because yes, you are correct. Continually continuing with the central theme of the podcast, as we will know, should revolve around your university studies, interesting subjects, similarities, difference, costs, and other related topics that we will delve into further along the way. Now that we'll be giving this brief summary, we can start.
Alright, let's get started then. As our first topics, we will talk about what's our career and what problems could solve in real lives, or how we're gonna apply what we learn in real life. And the starting question, it's just simple as I say. What is your career about?
Mm, my career, my career focuses on industrial process, mainly in the chemical and the petrochemical industries. However, I can also be part of the food and on the food industry, production sectors, and others. It deals with addressing various challenges and solving problems related to raw materials, products, and services that are required on daily basis. For instance, it could involve large scales, plastic production, petroleum refining, making machinery implementation, healthcare regulation for the medications, development of new products, and much more. The range of needs and application is endless.
Whoa, That sounds like your work is a great importance of the society and medical fields, which involves a little bit.
What could you tell me about your career?
Well, about my own career, the field of systems engineering is to grades significance today society. To its increasing of role and technology and information system plays in all areas of our lives, it constantly involves engaging technological development, fostering technological innovation, analyzing and solving problems with a lot of complex related information, and managing a lot of data we have to secure to protect everyone we drop or everyone we make, which is alright in a file directory, drive in our computer, or we work in the clouds. It's pure information what we manage here.
Wow, that sounds very interesting about your career. So, diffi- what what level of difficulty do you think or feel your career has? I don't mean your personal point of view, but rather something more general, so that everyone has a broader idea. What do
Well,
you think about this?
all right. A system engineer involves studying complex concepts and theories related to software, hardware, algorithms, database, and networks, and so many other technologies. It's so important understand and applying these concepts that require an extra effort because we usually work with multidisciplinary teams which engage we have a certain acknowledge of certain topics, but we can't involve everything and just with one person. So we divide our works and side by side or step by step, we could make better works and a better development for what I want to do. This requires an effective communications and
Mhm.
skills and the ability to work collaboratively. But that is just my part. What could you tell us about the difficulties that come up in your career?
Fine, my turn. The level of difficulty in my career is something to consider because while it's not impossible, there are certain subjects that can be quite challenging to the extent that several students drop out solely due to those specific courses. Subjects like thermodynamic, differential equations, physical chemistry 1 and 2, or number 1 and number 2, and sometimes even the available schedules, which are not always too flexible. I
Mhm.
mean, you can you can go to the school at the 7 a.m. and get out to the school at the 9 p.m.
Well, very well. As the next topics to answer, where would you recommend studying your career? What options does it offer in the liberal field?
This question is very important. Number one, just reminder, I strongly do not recommend studying chemical engineer, not to anyone at all, especially if you want to preserve whatever little sanity you may have left. However, if you dare to venture into it, brace yourself for sleepless nights, stress, pointless paperwork, and a lot of calculation. The calculations can be somewhat enjoyable if you are someone who loves mathematics, because it's a fundamental aspect of studying the field. But I will primarily recommend studying chemical engineer for the potential finances, benefits, and the wide range of jobs opportunities available in the field. In your
Uh,
case, what do you say?
well, it's not that easy, but I will recommend it because despite of the difficulties, studying systems engineers provides you with a wide range of professional opportunities, allowing you to participate in technological innovations, offering job stability, fostering the development of interdisciplinary skills, and enabling you to have a positive impact in your society. This is primarily because you can develop whatever you want, which involves help others or help yourself in any way possible. If you have an interest in technology and enjoy solving complex problems, system engineering can be the excellent choice of your career. And I'm not lying.
Well, that sounds quite fascinating. Regarding your career, system engineering, right? It sounds more interesting than I will have initially thought. But I believe it's time to move on to the next question. Are you fine with this?
Sure.
Approximately how much money have you spent throughout your career, excluding enrollment fees? Do you consider to be an expensive or affordable career?
Mm, I have not made too many expenses. To the technological facilities that allow you to use simulators for multiple environments, I basically use an ID for develop singularity programs like Java, C++, even Python. And in database, I could use a lot of simulators that involves uh, relational is equals and non-relational is equals, which could say like Oracle is equal server in Mongols, which is a new technology, not so new, but it's very important. And even a new one, which I could say it emerged to stay and to evolve what we are working from since the beginning. It's called Docker. When you work in a database, you have to install everything local. And if it that corrupts, basically all the work and the data and all the information you have saving, it's really gone unless you know how to manage it correctly. But with Docker, you basically guarantee that the information that you have in your computer it's going to be allowed to use it in everyone's computer. This case only applies when you are a good database administrator. That provides us a lot of facilities. Uh, and in this hardware topic, well, I haven't spent really that much. I just buy a new computer with I don't really buy. I use I will say that as a parent or a family member to to give me a computer that he don't use anymore to the abilities that I acquire in my career. I basically could repair it and give it and bring it to a new life. So due to facilities that provide us, we use simulators and save us a lot of price devices or software, and even more complex work areas to work at hierarchical levels. But this is only my part. What about your cost in careers?
Mm, I think in my career about the cost, my career is actually quite affordable because it mainly involves using peer rate simulators. It's funny, but it's the real thing. Old, but old simulator what we use in the old career, all are peer rate.
Wow.
Laboratory code costs around 200, 300 pesos Mexican or
Uh,
Mexican pesos as as it needs to be made of cotton, only cotton,
right.
because it knows made of cotton, they can burn so fast and and they can have a little quick or or holes by the
Mhm.
acid or the something chemicals.
So
Continuing with
you
the
you basically need a
uh,
specific materials to wear.
no, Oh yes, only cotton.
Okay, okay.
Only cotton. We we can use plastic. We can use elastano because these materials are not resistant.
Mm,
Only the cotton is is very hard to use. Only in the laboratory
okay.
for for see for her components.
It's kind of the best way to wear when you are working. So
Sorry, I can hear you. Your
at least in the
transmission is
my bad, my bad. It's basic cotton. It's basically the best way to wear when you are working in the industry. So it prevents you from any kind of accidents,
yes,
or at least,
yes, it's
or at
correct.
like.
Bueno, sorry. Continually with the price of the my career. Sorry. I also need some personal protective equipment, such as gloves for the hand,
Mhm.
goggles for the eyes, a cap for the head, and a face mask for something uh, gases go to the nose to the lungs. Continually, additionally, a useful laptop for that can handle the simulators if necessary, and a little bit of money for weekly printing expenses because weekly we need printing some a lot of page and
Mhm.
something like that. This these are called tablas de vapor.
Like
This
vapor
is
tables.
something like that paper tables. This contains all the information for the thermodynamical.
Wow.
Thermodynamics is the basic is the base of all my career. If you don't if you don't know or if you don't think in thermodynamics, you are dead in chemical engineer.
Right. So if you basically miss that information, it won't allow you to progress in your work.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's such a great point of to make because for your career that involves chemical agents and my career that involves managing information, with that table of vapors, we could merge what we could be a database. Uh, all that information that you have in that book could be transferred to a computer, and in that computer you can easily consult what you need. For example, if you need some singularity data from a singularity chemical, you must say a consult and it will say everything what you need, even extra information what it's related to him. And that's a reason
Oh,
because engineering
uh,
is a really good way to study. But I think you think really say something about robotics because we are nearly reaching the end of it.
yes. All what you stay speaking is something I do in my residence. I use SQL or SQL for
Stress.
transfer information to tags. For posterity, use this information from Excel, HiSys, también, sorry, and
As
what do
well,
you say?
as well.
Thanks, as well, and other simulators. Meanwhile, I stay in my residence. I use about what 4 or 5 hours using
Wow.
SQL, moving information to tags like 15 p
Mhm.
170001 point pb. The point pb is
All right.
for physics variable.
Mhm.
All these variables is using in the old process for production of polyethylene and polyethylene from low density and high density. This is something curiosity about my service
Mm,
and relationating your career with my career.
so it's an interesting point because even if you don't see what a database is, you have to learn it and use it for your work basically. And even if I
Yeah.
don't know what a chemical agent is, uh, I don't even need to know it. But if it could be a data in a database, I basically could merge it for a simple like name or a number of a chemical agent to a byte or a piece of information that could, I will say, full a simple database. So in that way, your career and my career could merge to work properly. And that's because in engineering systems, we have to learn about how to communicate with our, I will say, client or with our core worker. Because if I will do my part, I don't need to know how to do it correctly. I will give you a good information or a good system if you could give me a good description of that information, which is mostly important. If I do my part great, you do your part great, so everything is gonna be great. Everything is gonna be functional as long as we maintain a good communication between us. All right, but what time is it?
Oh, time is really a
A little
little
late,
late.
so
Yeah. So I think it's time to finish the podcast. I really enjoyed being in touch with you and having a conversation about our careers. I believe it's time to wrap up this podcast and say your goodbyes. I appreciate your time and the information you shared with me. I hope
sure.
you all enjoyed this podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and and go to like. And Professor, please comment tamal de mole in the comments if you stay with us at the minute.
If you reach that
Ready,
part,
set,
comment tamal de mole.
yeah,
So
tamal de mole.
we both of you we're gonna know if you really saw the whole podcast or if you just skip it and okay, those two speak very bad. So I'm gonna put it as 17 or something like
Sorry, teacher,
that.
but
We
if
do
you
our
skip
best.
the
We promise.
yes, I'll go to the best.
All right.
Teacher, if you skip all the podcasts, you will break our hearts.
I don't feel that
So
bad
sad.
because it happened to me before, but all right. Many thanks to English Discovery for sponsoring this project or suggest it. We hope you liked it and see you next time. Thank you
See.
everyone for all see you. Thank you, teacher.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. See you later, my friend.
Goodbye.